Hey, give me volume on that.
To death by one of their officers Saturday.
Ferguson police officer shooting and killing an 18-year-old.
Fuck that, I make them duck when I bust back. Ain't no shame in my aim, you can trust that. Now how the fuck you gonna start a war and ignore it? You kill our babies, but you not gonna pay for it. Get administrative leave, no incarceration. Then they giving you a paid motherfucking vacation. We living on a concrete plantation. I'm the glitch in the matrix, bitch, I'ma change your station. You want a war, I'ma put you on my shit list. Fuck around and make us boycott Christmas. You want a war, I'ma put you on my hit list. You gon' fuck around and make us put you out of business. Yeah, you want a war, I'ma put you on my shit list. You gon' fuck around and make us boycott Christmas. You want a war, I'ma put you on my hit list.
Second verse.
Fuck around and make us put you out of business. Black money, black power. Stop spinning it for just 24 hours. Then they recognize your life and your money matter. The glass ceiling will suddenly begin to shatter.
Ladies and gentlemen, October 20th, 2014, the year is ticking down with the quickness. It just started and now it's just that far from being over. The So What Morning Show. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my homeboy Truth. The name of that record is Boycott. Zoe is suited and booted today because, let me explain something to y'all. This is a part of my new line that I'm coming out with called the Line of Succession. We're in America. This is the attire of the assassin. Capitalism is about capitalizing, which means now you're in the field of opportunism. And if you're not a mercenary out here wearing the proper garb of the social business ninja, nobody's gonna take you seriously, right?
That's right.
Right? This show is about apotheosis. Look up the word apotheosis. A lot of Masons use it, right? George Washington was apothesized in Washington, D.C. on the ceiling as apotheosis is a Greek word which means God-making. This show is about making gods in our community. You feel me? It's a whole new get down right now. This show is live apotheosis. And I'm creating this line of clothing because I'm raising a new army of gods. How we are men who take control of their lives and are responsible for it. And along the way, I got haters watching the show, reporting back to the enemy in my life. It's all right. It's cool. I look good doing it. Let's keep it cracking. Zoe Williams back in the building, haters. We got black businesses in the building. Let me get to it really quickly. Do we have Veronica Conway on the line right now? Veronica! Veronica, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hey, Zoe.
Veronica,
hey, family.
Listen, it's very important that you get everybody caught up to speed on your new Black Mastery program. And I'm telling you right now, this is a call to action. Go get the Black Mastery program, the neuro-linguistic program that changes and rewrites and uproots and eliminates all of the negative self-defeatist thought process that may lie unconscious or conscious in your mindset, in the background of your thought process. Veronica, tell us how you put this thing together and tell them where is the new contact page.
Well, the contact page is still over at blackmastery.com. That's www.blackmastery.com. And here's the thing. We've got less than 80 days left in the year. If we are going, there's a lot of talk about mobilizing and organizing, but if you're not internally organized, you are not fit to organize with others. We have got to get ourselves straight in our own minds first before we even have the consciousness to come together and be empowered with other people. So that's what this Black Mastery program is about. We've been subject to psychological warfare for the past, since the 60s, since my daddy went to prison as a Black Panther. We've been under psychological warfare. So this is a way to reprogram your mind from the psychological warfare that's been done did to you.
Been done did to you. Blackmastery.com. Call to action right now. Go to her page right now, blackmastery.com. Order it right now. Zoe Williams told you to do it. Look at me. Anybody who's been paying attention to the show from RMC, no disrespect to them, over to T Radio V, you haven't seen a change or metamorphosis in the way Zoe gets down? Partly because of blackmastery.com. You better get it right now. Go get the NLP program. Don't play yourself. Go do it right now. On to the homie. We Juice.
We Juice, yes.
Black business. Let's go. Talk to them. Where can they get it?
WeJuice.com. You can find us on Twitter. Looking to improve your health and fitness. We're not just juices. We're a health and fitness program also.
Right.
Living foods, drinking juices.
And you're a
health,
trainer.
And I'm a trainer also. And just the overall program, We Juice embodies everything.
Wow.
Fitness, health, energy, food.
Right, and there it is. And he's got energy packages, he's got digestion packages, he's got nutrition, workout, recovery packages. Dude, you gotta check in with WeJuice.com. On to the homie. What's happening, brother?
What's happening, Zoe?
I appreciate you, man. You've been trying to get on this show.
I have.
And you work here, and you're
Yes.
a good dude. And I said,
Yes.
let's blow this man's business up.
Thank
What is
you.
it that you do? People don't even know who you really are,
Well-
but we'll get into that in a second. What do
Okay.
you do?
My name is Ryan King. I'm a realtor. And first, let me say thank you for letting me be on this show.
Absolutely.
I'm a fan.
Thank
you
you,
do
brother.
great work.
Thank you, brother.
And it's an honor to be here.
Man, I appreciate you.
Now let me tell you people out there something. They're not making more land. And if you're looking for a smart investment, black people, young black people out there, get into real estate. Now is the time. That the huge crash that happened in 2008 is over. If you're looking to buy something smart, efficient, and that's going to expand your money in years to come, but not too far ahead, real estate is where it's at. And come to me, Ryan King. I'm at Normand and Associates, Normand.com, Normand.com. I'm good with the pocket listings. I'm going to find you something that you feel comfortable with, that's not out of your price range. And let me tell you one more thing before I go. Most of you are renting. You can buy a house that is for the, if not the same price or a little bit more than what you're paying for rent, except you're going to own something. We have to change the minds and the way you approach this. Ryan King, Normand.com. Check me out.
Wow. A lot of businesses, a lot of stuff is happening. Let's keep it pushing. This is one of 5 copies left. For everybody who buys a copy, I'm going to put in my God class lecture. Only 5 copies of The Rebirth of Seeds is left. Go to IamZoeWilliams.com. I am going to the post office tomorrow to ship out everybody's order from last week. This is the final show. I will promote my first work, The Rebirth of Seeds. It is over. 5 copies. Move now and get a free copy of my lecture on religion and God called The God Class Volume 1. Now, if you want this, you have to go to CD Baby and look up Street Scholar, The God Class Volume 1. Purchase it now. You can even go to iTunes. It's on iTunes as well, but I prefer cdbaby.com because it's indie everything, right? 5 copies. Anybody who buys the next 5 copies, you guys get a free CD lecture on God. Go do that. Also, one of our guests will be on today. His name is Noel Biederman. He created the website called AshleyMadison.com, a website that is designed for married couples to come and cheat discreetly. The name of the book is called Cheaters Prosper, How Infidelity Will Save the Modern Marriage. Noel Biederman. Play yourself if you want to. Live a fantasy if you want to. And see what happens. See how heartbroken and broke your ass is going to be at some point. Real Men Don't Play. Bobby Glanton Smith, the big uncle, the big homie. Please continue to support. Again, get at us right now. IamZoeWilliams.com. You want a copy? The final 5 copies of The Rebirth of Seeds are available right now. You want Real Men Don't Play? Go to RealMenDon'tPlay.com. Get Bobby's book. You Cheaters Prosper. We Juice. And where are you again?
Normand.com. Ryan King, Normand.com.
Ryan King, Normand.com. We got all types of businesses to promote. Arise Hospitality, Ramo Mart, Easy Boy Web, HoleInTheHead.com to find out the story of the brother who was experimented on his head and kept the secret under his hat for 70 some odd years. Nobody knew about it. I mean, we got so many businesses that we want to support, and they all black. While you at home criticizing positive black people, I'm on the air uplifting, motivating black people to work together. Shame on your religious self. Shame on your false knowledge of what you've been studying for 20, 30 years and have no idea of what it means. If you're not building up another brother, you're a problem. If you're not empowering a sister somewhere, you're a problem. If all you got is negative criticism about what somebody else is doing, it's a mirror of what's happening in your life that you fail to acknowledge and deal with. This is what this show is about. This is what this platform is about. It's about building up our community. And I got on the uniform of the assassin, and I ain't taking no more shit from no more pretenders. So if you want to get down with what we doing, get at Zoe Williams. I am ZoeWilliams.com. We'll be back in 2.2 with the topic and guest. I'll holla at you in a minute. Deuces!
I'm from the jungle, can't you see my shoes is gator shoes?
Okay, so the Zoe What Show, we had to transport ourselves to a makeshift jungle for this secretive topic. You know what we do. We like to rattle the cages. So next week, Monday, the 20th, the secret lives and language of women. We're gonna do an in-depth expose on the female cheater. Are women better communicators, deceivers, and liars than men are? If so, how have they mastered this skill of communicative deception? Do women date and marry for security and then cheat for the pleasure that they're missing or lacking at home? At tradiov.com. Mondays, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Zoe What Morning Show will get with you.
And one of the greatest tragedies in life is getting to the end of your life and looking back and realizing it was mediocre and it didn't have to be that way. The number one reason is people are unwilling to listen and care about the person. Well, what if you could be someone who dared to care about everybody in your life? When you're in love, smoke gets in your eyes. But when you're anxious, you talk more than you listen. I asked my wife a month ago, I said, I don't know whether to have an affair or buy a motorcycle. And she said, if you have an affair, I'll kill you. If you get the motorcycle, you'll kill yourself. Go with the bike.
Wonderful music, Doc. I love it.
Thank you. So why do women cheat? Well, here's something that men will never understand, but I think women understand. For a woman without warmth doesn't feel like a woman, just like a man without courage doesn't feel like a man. So what happens is when men behave in a way that turns a woman cold inside, it really attacks everything that she wants to feel. And there's a lot of things that men do that just suck the warmth out of women. And that's another reason why women feel justified in cheating, because more women will feel, he drove me to it. He drove me to it by the way he treated me, the way he looked at other women. He drove me to it. He took away the warmth in me. Whereas men, they cheat because they cheat. I mean, they notice something, they want it, and they get it. And here's the crazy thing, is I think why men go a little crazy if a woman cheats and may even drive them to domestic violence is because, as I said, a man without courage doesn't feel like a man, and when he feels like his woman has cheated on him, he feels that all the other men would say, you put up with that? How can you put up with that? And so he takes it a little tad more violently and more personal than women do.
Wow. And with that, Dr. G's alley-oop for today's topic. Let's get into it. 855-878-4652. Follow me on Twitter at Zoe Williams. Today's topic, the secret language / lives of women. A deeper look into the anatomy and mind of the female cheater. Why does she cheat? As the doc said, is her reasons for cheating always justified by way of what we do? Or does she lie about what she really wants? 855-878-4652. I've got questions. Which form of infidelity hurts a man more? Emotional, physical, or financial? Question mark. Let's get deep. Who wants to answer these questions? Are reality shows like The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Hollywood Divas, or shows like this an accurate look into the secret lives and language of women? Or is it a scripted false depiction? Somebody answer these questions. We got a whole august panel of people here that I'm about to introduce. Are needs not being met an excuse or a good reason for female infidelity? We talked about this in the green room. This is going to be very interesting. How much of female cheating is based on revenge? Get back. Eek. The women in here, boy, I can feel them percolating, right? How is it that women are able to cover their tracks so meticulously when cheating on their significant others? Women are quick to say, we're better communicators than you. If I wanted you to know, you would have known. Right? Yeah, I hear that a lot. Yeah. Right? The signs were obvious. You weren't paying attention. Right? This is going to be great, ladies and gentlemen. One more question, and then introduction of the crew, the panel. True, false? True or false? Most women simply cheat because they are searching for an emotional connection. Something's missing at home. Right? Is that a good reason? Is that in the majority? Look at you. Ooh, I can tell you done cheated on a motherfucker. Ooh, I can see it. Are women mainly loyal to good sex, excitement, and financial stability? And when any of those leave, so does her loyalty? In other words, is female loyalty for sale? Ugh. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Look at Corey's face. Oh, my God.
Have Corey go first.
We've got people in the building. Let me introduce the crew. Uncle OG Bobby. Real men don't play. In the building right now. Welcome, Bobby. I know you got some fire for this. Sitting right next to you is Jasmine Walsh. She's a model. She was on Big Brother. Femme Fatales on HBO. Look her up. She's a baller. You know who she is. Jesus. Just look her up. I want to say your last name correctly, Richard. How do you say your last name?
Foltz.
Foltz? Got it. Richard Foltz in the studio with over 22 years of family law, divorce, separation, annulment, child support, yada, yada, yada. He is an expert in the building ready to chime in. Dr. Mark Goulston. You know who he is. Famed author. Just finished writing the foreword to my new book. Yeah, and it's coming. The Relationship Dismount. How to stick the landing when you're trying to get away from someone else's coping mechanism. It's coming. Oh, my goodness. Oh, he's the author of Just Listen and Real Influence, both bestsellers in the building. Next to him, Dr. Nikki Prowse. Prowse in the building. Associate scientist at UCLA in psychiatry, so she must know the inner workings of the female language. She will speak to us about it in depth. Next to her, Black Jesus is blowing up. He's in the building. So is the 5150 Nation. None other than famed comedian, actor, Corey Holcomb. He about to, look at his face. He about to kick that reel. I see it is about to happen. And old school homegirl from the Voice of Reason show on the RMC network, Margo Hudson in the building. Model, relationship specialist, author, just all around guru type, holistic Erykah Badu type flyness up in here. About to get it cracking. The language of women. Anybody can jump in. Why do you guys cheat? Can somebody speak to that? Of course you will, Leo.
I'll take the mic. All right. Well, first we gotta, women. A lot of times people think that, of course, psychological, emotionally, women aren't getting their needs met. So a lot of times they'll go outside of the home. But even more than that, we got to look at a few other things. One of them is that women are great multitaskers, and we also keep our mouth shut. When we're doing things, it's dirty. So a lot of times men won't find out, and they've actually have studies that have proven that women are better multitaskers. And men a lot of times aren't as choosy when they're cheating, so they get caught. They don't put as much thought into it. Women do a lot more thoughtful planning, and so the details are taken care of. We got the bases covered. The other thing is that women, the misconception is that women are always cheating because of emotional things, and really a lot of times it's, just like men get tired of hitting the same old thing, we get tired of the same beefcake and doing it the same way over and over again. And a lot of times when you've been in a relationship for a long time, the passion melts away because the monotony sets in, and you get tired of doing it the same way. You lay there and you're like, okay, he's gonna get on, he's gonna eat it, he's gonna hit it, he's gonna go to sleep. So you got to put something in there. Women, we need. So a lot of times women are missing that passionate, romantic, sexual connection, and a lot of times that's what it is. And a lot of times this is very interesting that they've done studies on this as well, and it's very interesting. If women, I don't know if you guys can chime in on this, but a lot of times when women cheat, it's almost like a monogamous cheating in a sense. So they'll cheat with one man. They'll find one man to cheat with. They don't find many men to put the penis inside. They'll find one man that they can have that connection with, that they get that work.
Corey disagrees profusely. I'm coming right to the source.
I don't know if y'all ready for what I got.
I want you to grab that goddamn microphone and get him ready. Let's go. Look at Corey's face.
What? No, this is all opinional, right?
Yes, and no filter. Go ahead.
Well, this is the problem. See, in society, most of the times, people want to be accepted in a way that's positive. But the truth is, everybody is not a positive person. You have to claim being a whore at some point in your life. You're a whore. There are people who are born whores. Like in grammar school, there's little girls you can tell, you're like, she gonna be fucking everybody. You know what I mean? But nobody wants to claim it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Men, we all know how we do. We born to fuck. It's just society makes it seem like we're bad because this is what we're going to do. It's nothing to hide. It's what we're going to do for the most part. Most men who I know who take care of their families, they fuck around. Now I'm just saying. But women who fuck around don't want to be looked at as whores. They want to be looked at as something other than that. Like, oh, there's a problem here, or there's a problem. No, you're a whore. Why can't you just step up and accept who you are? That's what I
So you're saying women are not accountable for being whores?
No. Whores are not proud of being whores, so they find ways to blame other people for what they're doing. But
and
the truth
justify
is,
their whoredom.
You're a whore.
Maybe they're just horny.
That's okay. Whore, horny, same thing. I think that made you feel better.
Oh, God. Richard, speak to us.
Well, after 22 years of doing divorce mediation, I finally came to the conclusion that I know what the leading cause of divorce is.
What is it?
Marriage.
Ooh, say more.
Well, I come into a vast variety of different infidelity situations, and there's been several things said. The one thing that I think that is the key to why most women cheat is there's some element missing at the home level that they have to look for outside the home. And it's not necessarily sexual. It's usually more emotional, which translates into sex eventually because people want to be intimate. But there's also, you hit on it, so revenge. Revenge is another big one. And it's not that the woman is going to send pictures or videos to the man so he knows, but she's just kind of snickering under her breath, I got you, sucker. And the third one is borderline nymphomania. I mean, they're getting plenty of it at home, but they have to have it with different people all the time, nonstop.
So you're saying women are a lot more like men than we really know.
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. Whoredom. Ladies, you got something for me, Bobby? Speak on it.
Well, I think cheating starts with the first lie. And the sister just mentioned something that
we don't talk about openly enough, and it is what women expect out of a relationship, and sometimes they want variety, and they'll be the last one to speak on that because they're worried about getting slaughtered. But I think we've arrived at a point where we need to just go back to step one, and that is start out with the truth. That would avert a lot of the cheating.
Are you saying women are liars by nature?
I think not just women. Women don't even have to lie because men don't put them in positions where we're courageous enough to say, look, you know, are you really down with me like that? Or are you like
me and you right now, are you saying men are perpetuating a lie because we not being our true selves?
Well, we don't admit that first and foremost we do want to have sex. See, we don't want to go to the mall.
Corey said, we're right off the top, $80.
I get the little financial contract.
I got $80.
I don't like free pussy.
Let me pay for this pussy.
I don't like that. That's a setup for failure.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to take a quick break. When we come back, more of the secret lives and language of women. A deeper look into the mind of the female cheater. When we come back, we're going to hear Nikki. Dr. Nikki up in this piece out of UCLA. We'll be back at 2.2 ZOA Mornings. Holla!
And welcome to MarsVenus.com. I'm John Gray, and today we'll be focusing on why women cheat. Today we get new reports coming out every day that more and more women are cheating. Recently, the CEO of Ashley Madison talked about a website for cheating couples who want to cheat, individuals who want to cheat on their partners, 19 million subscriptions. What's going on here? And what's happening? You know, men have always gotten the rap in the past for wanting to be the cheaters. Now women are cheating. Almost as many women are reporting to cheat as men. In interviews, it's it's almost the same amount. So what's actually going on? What are some of the reasons for that? Ultimately, what I believe the reason is it's a combination of different things, but comes down to one thing, is that women are not satisfied in their relationships. And there is a gender difference here. Typically, women are bored, their partners aren't interested in them, they're not interested in their partners, there's conflict at home, there's lack of passion at home, and now with greater financial independence, women are more authentic, they're more willing to be themselves, their security isn't so much dependent upon a man because they have the potential to be independent, they can take that risk, and in taking that risk, that in itself is arousing and promotes cheating. So men, on the other hand, have the same dynamic, but because men were financially independent always in the past, they had more opportunity. But the truth is women really did have the opportunity because so many men are really interested in having sex. It's not as hard, generally speaking, for women to get laid.
Do you guys see a pattern? A pattern is developing for why women cheat. Of course, my final thought is going to be crazy. We have a doctor in the house. I like to go to the doctors. Dr. Nikki Prousey? Got it. From UCLA. Let's really get into this. Is there a secret list of male frailties / character flaws that may lead to female infidelity within the relationship? Like, is there something you guys see and go, I'm definitely going to be fucking his friend? This is... Right? Speak to that, Dr. Nikki.
I think the funny thing is we assume something's wrong with the relationship. If a woman steps out, if a guy steps out, that there's something missing. And in the vast majority of cases, people will say, my relationship, my sexual relationship with that person is fine. Like, it's just as good as anybody else's. It's, you know, we have our disagreements, but that's not usually when people are cheating. They don't say it's because my relationship was falling apart. That's a minority of people. So it's not, you know, necessarily that there's something especially wrong with the guy.
Say more. Are you saying it's natural for a little cheating to happen within the relationship with both genders?
So I think what we're seeing is one of the best predictors of people that do cheat is those that have power, both in their job or in terms of how attractive they are. So the people most likely to cheat have jobs, for instance, that allow them to travel, meet new people, have the opportunities to cheat. So if they're predisposed, it makes it easier for them. Or if they're very attractive, they can ring people in, you know, that would approach them.
So basically, if I got options typically, if I got options, I might. Chances are, I'm gonna take up some of those options.
It's an interaction. If you're someone who kind of leans that way, and then you get chances.
Interesting. Corey has a quick response. Corey, go ahead. I see your face, man. I love it when you just keep it
I'm
real.
just saying, from my opinion, I done seen ugly women cheat.
Yeah.
Really?
Rich women cheat. Women in shape cheat. It doesn't matter. You're born that way. You're born to cheat. That's your thing.
You're
You
loyal
do.
or not.
Speak on it.
I think you're either loyal or you're not. Like, if you, no matter what's going on, if you have issues at home, if you have something going on, like, you'll fight for, your loved one. You'll fight for that person. If that's the person you are or not.
But loyalty, like trust, is an illusion.
Yeah,
because
but
it
you're
can
still
be
gonna
bought.
work for
All
it,
of it
and
can
then
be
you're
bought.
going to do what you're supposed to do, and you're going to say, look, I need a divorce because I want to cheat.
All of it.
Before you actually cheat. You're going to say, look, I need to get divorced because I'm going to cheat on you. Before I hurt you, let me break this up. So that's like a loyalty thing. That's just being strong enough to say you're going to communicate.
Oh, that's interesting. Listen, hold on one second. Ladies
can't
and
hold
gentlemen.
back the whore in me, baby. We got to break up. Or
I
I'm gonna
can't
fuck
hold
your
back
friend.
the whore in me. Sounds awesome. There's a raging whore in here that's dying to get out, and I don't want to hurt you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the founder of the only site I know that caters to married couples who want to cheat discreetly. And he has over 19 million subscriptions. 19 million couples is on here fucking other married people who have the same to lose. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's welcome in the author of Cheaters Prosper: How Infidelity Will Save the Modern Marriage. Noel Biederman, AshleyMadison.com. Welcome to the show, Noel.
Thank you all. Thank you for having me. Sorry I'm not there in person.
That's all right, bro. Next time you're here in LA, I mean, this is maybe the second or third time you've been on my show. You were on The Voice of Reason on the Foxhole, Jamie Foxx's Foxhole Radio on Sirius XM, so I'm glad to see your face on this Skype situation. Talk to me about women cheating. How many women are signed up to your paid subscription?
We have about 29 million members worldwide, about 19 million in the U.S.
Wow.
And of that, approximately 42% are female. Now, there's a lot of biology that come into play. We have tens of thousands of men over the age of 65 using Ashley Madison. We don't really have a corresponding female demographic. I'm not suggesting that women in their 60s are not sexually active. I'm just saying they don't appear to be going online to pursue affairs, at least not at the same rate as their male counterparts. Wow. But as you age down, as you start looking at people in their 40s and in their 30s, and in particular at major metropolitan areas, female infidelity rates and male infidelity rates are almost identical. And I think that's fascinating. That says a lot about where we've moved to as a society in this internet era.
Why are women so uncomfortable with claiming their responsibility for cheating? Why is it such a negative stigma for them to say, you know what, I just need some new dick? Your dick is old. I've had it for 10 years. I want some fresh dick. Is there fresh dick on the market? Why can't they just own fresh dick? The hunt, the pursuit of it. Speak to it, Noel.
It's a very, very strong and long-term negative narrative that we've been dealing with, right? From Moses coming down from the mountain. And then, not to mention that economic institutions were created around inheritance laws, passing on your cattle, your property to people. How did you do that before the era of a DNA test? You said women were supposed to be monogamous. So this is a long narrative that we're trying to reverse. And so it's not just in the face of the media or whatever it ends up being. It's your family, it's your friends. Culturally, we tend to put a lot of emphasis on being married, being monogamous within that marriage. And so it's going to take us a considerable amount of time to kind of pull ourselves away from it and realize we're not sociopathic or bad people or deviant from being unfaithful. In fact, the majority of us are unfaithful, and it's actually a rare case where people are monogamous at least lifelong.
So who gave us this bullshit narrative that you speak to? Who created the narrative that we're supposed to be monogamous? Is monogamy a new social construct, or is it something that goes all the way back to the Bible and beyond? Speak to that.
Well, it's certainly both, right? It's certainly got the Judeo-Christian background from the Bible, but it was a man-made construct. It wasn't based on some great social science that we came up with the research, monogamous couples are more successful, do this, do that. It was for economic reasons. We wanted to give our children our property. And so to do that with some certainty they were actually our children, we were trying to insist that the women in our lives be monogamous. Men were never monogamous, never intended to be monogamous, never have been monogamous, and never will be monogamous. That's the reality.
Can the same be said for women? Because the assumption is women are genetically hardwired to be monogamous.
Well, I think what we've done is we put a lot of constraints around women. So even 40, 50 years ago, a woman had an affair, got discovered in an affair. We were very punitive. We would take her children away, call her a quote-unquote unfit mother. That was a huge, huge inhibition to her being unfaithful. We would take away her economic situation. We would say, oh, you know what, you're not going to get any alimony. Now, fast forward to where women are highly educated, have loved and lost, have economic freedoms. They are just as willing to take those risks because as a society, we've started to remove all those inhibitions. So they don't have the bricks and mortar constructs that men do. Strip clubs, massage parlors, brothels, those don't tend to exist around the globe. But women are certainly becoming more and more unfaithful as their economic situation, as the social situation has evolved.
All right, so Bobby has a question, and then Dr. G. Bobby, go.
Now, I understand that your site emphasizes discretion. What's the motivation for that?
Well, listen, when I started Ashley Madison, it could have gone one of two ways. It could have been for couples who are, courageous enough to have a conversation about an open marriage. They want to break down monogamy together, or at least with permission. Or it ended up being what it is, which is a service for discretion, where people are doing this behind their partner's back, because the focus groups I ran were very clear in their outcome, which is 99 of 100 people said they weren't willing to have that conversation about opening up their relationship. They feared being policed in the rest of their relationship if their partner disagreed. And so everything that we do from the moment you sign up, we put under a special lock and key. Your photos, your communications, everything is catering to discretion, because it's not lipstick in this era, but digital lipstick that gets you caught in an affair. And so that's what we focus in on.
Wow. Dr. G?
No, a question. How much do you think that what's happening is that in the battle between animal and human nature, animal nature is winning, and part of animal nature is it's unnatural as an animal to be disappointed, frustrated, or have unquenched desires. And what's happening is we feel, the animal part of us feels entitled to not be disappointed, not be frustrated, and if we have desires, to fulfill them. And it seems like everything is catering to that, which might be driving that. Do you think any of that is true?
I do think we've become less repressive as a society, right? We do tend to believe, hey, if this feels good, if we want this, we should be able to pursue it, that we're much more interested in those freedoms versus, 150 years ago. You just didn't necessarily believe you had those rights. And so I think that's part of it. But think about it. There are places on earth right now, sadly, incredibly sadly, where if a woman is unfaithful, they will put her to death. They will stone her to death. They are treated incredibly harshly. And so, there aren't many things in this world you're willing to risk your life for, but clearly one of those things is intimacy. If it is absent in your life, you're not willing to be celibate for the rest of your life. You're willing to risk your life for it. It's that deep of a biological drive. So I just don't believe there's any suppression for that deep of a need.
So we got to take a quick break, but before we do, Corey, you clapped for the stoning of unfaithful wives. Why? Why should we put them to death? Are you happy with that punishment?
Well, I'll put it like this. In those countries where women realize they have something to lose, they don't normally make mistakes like that.
They don't make bad decisions.
So I'm just saying, there's not a lot of child support out there. Most of the kids know who their daddy is. You know what I'm saying?
They responsible citizens.
It's not as much chaos in society when there's control.
So you saying the more sexual freedom for women equals the more chaos society, right?
I'm just saying, look at what's happening over here.
Wow.
Women start cheating.
That's right. You heard what Corey said.
No.
You heard what he said. We got to take a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to deal with the nastiness you guys want to do. Zoe Williams, Zoe Up Morning Show. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Now join the church with
Why would ladies cheat on men? You see, there are some men, they don't take good care of them. So, and they have children. You have to feed those children, and you find out that you don't want to waste the life of your children. But if they cheat on any man like that, there's no problem. But on the other hand, for a man, it is natural. You have obey music. He said, "Awoko ile laya mefa koburu." obìnrin kan ṣo àbí no ọkùnrin kan ṣo lọ́bọ̀lúwa mi yàn fóbìnrin.
Ladies don't cheat on guy. Before you can see any ladies that cheat on guy, maybe the guy has cheated on her. That's my own opinion.
Thank you.
Then apart from that, maybe the guy is not man enough on the bed. Then the lady will go outside somewhere else, look for guys that can do it.
Why do men cheat on women? Why do women cheat on? Now longer truth. When man know the belly full, if your belly go over, you go vomit.
I think it's basically men that are not satisfied. They're looking for what they have already, and that's really messed up. They need to work on what they have. That's why I'm making the kind of movies I make. So you see that when you have a good woman, you need to keep her and keep her on check and keep yourself on check. Men, I'm talking to you, child.
Why do women cheat on men? Do you want the truthful answer? Because men cheat on women. That's right.
Why do women cheat on men? Because men don't satisfy them. Now, to the guys out there who have cheating women, hold your girl down, lock her down, give her what she wants, and she would never leave. Because she finds a guy like me, she is gonna leave.
Speak to that too. Oh my God, we coming back. Oh, Jesus, is it possible to dick a woman into loyalty?
Hell no.
I don't think it is.
Yes.
Is it possible to dick her
Wait a
into
minute.
loyalty indefinitely? Speak to it.
I think so.
You mean I can
think
fuck
it's
the
the
moonshine
boredom.
out of you
It's like-
that will stay
it's
in
like
you?
You're always bored, or you know, the minute that you become bored in your relationship, or that he stops doing the same shit that he always used to do, and he stops making you feel special. Then you're like, okay, then something is wrong with me. You feel insecure, and then you're like, okay, you're obviously thinking of other women because you're not looking at me like that anymore. And so, you know, now my eyes are gonna wander, and I'm gonna try to look at someone
If you're
else.
paying attention, that's
all about
projection. If you're paying attention, that's
Oh, well, yeah, a
projection.
lot of
Please,
it is.
Nikki.
We know for sure people, when they're trying to keep their partner, the more attractive their partner is, the more likely they are to perform oral sex on them.
Oh, really?
So,
Very
what are they
true.
doing?
Like,
They
you
say they
pretty.
think they're
Let me eat.
Let me make sure that I keep you satisfied, and that's one way that they've been studying that they're doing that.
Wow, Margo.
That's not the only, and that's not the only thing. The sex is a good part of it, but it's a passion. It's like every woman knows what it feels like to be desired by a man. When he holds you, he holds on to you, and you can feel that he loves you. When he looks at you, how he speaks to you, he cares. He cares. You know, he cares about what's going on with you. He checks in with you. But when a woman always gives you signs, men, we always give you signs. We'll tell you different things, and I think that a lot of people aren't honest. They're not saying what it really is, and I think in relationships you have to say, you know what, honey, I'm feeling like my love tank is low. I need you to pay attention more.
Get the hell out of here.
That's
Hey, goddamn love tank. Corey, would you please dispel this myth of the love tank and
I
I'm
just want
low?
to say this, with all due respect, you've been married before, right? So the first guy, what happened? You made a mistake with him? Is that what happened? No. He just stopped fulfilling the love tank. So if somebody's married to you, they just got to come up with new tricks and all this in order to keep you. Is that a fair assessment? I'm just asking.
Whitney?
I asked her because
Okay. So the thing about the marriage is that as you grow, because I was learning, I'm older and I'm wiser now, and if in another marriage, I'm definitely going to speak out more, and I'm going to sit down and have a serious conversation. Like, look, we need to do something because I'm losing interest. I feel like you don't care anymore, and I'm feeling like I'm getting weak. Like I do want to go outside the marriage.
That's the point I'm trying to make. You
So,
aren't
yeah,
even
he-
married to the next guy, and you saying how you gonna sit down and check it.
Ooh.
That's all I'm trying to. I'm
That's
trying
a great
to show you
point.
something.
I want to get, listen, I want to get Whitney in. She hasn't said anything.
What's up?
Whitney, grab Corey's mic and tell us what you think of all of this. You're the young gun of this whole get
I'm
down.
the youngest. Let's see. To me personally, when dudes try to really dick girls down, it kind of pushes me away. I'm sorry, like these young dudes really, really, really try so hard, and I'm like, you're doing the most. I think women need more of what Margo was talking about. This love tank, fill it up, whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's you gotta be. It's a mental thing. You gotta be respectful. It's not all about the dick. I'm sorry.
Let me speak to Noel Biederman. He's still on. He's still on Skype. I have a question because we were talking about this during the break, Noel, and the question arose: the way marriage is set up right now, is it really just about a woman picking and choosing the best resources she can get in terms of financial security, in terms of protection, status, all of that kind of stuff. And then she'll figure out where to get the intimacy and all the other stuff in her secret life. I think a lot, because that's something that isn't spoken about. A lot of women will marry a guy who can take care of them and not really be attracted to him and not really be into him intimately. And then I know women like this and will go get dick down from somebody else or somebody's else. I'm just saying. Speak to that, Noel.
I think your guest to your left had some great insight with everyone heard what she was talking about. We just finished some research with the University of California at Irvine, and I think they were trying to look at what they called the female monogamy gap. It's very difficult to do research on infidelity, at least before a service like ours came along. The unfaithful don't tend to put their hands up. They follow us around while we cheat and observe us. And so studying university students, that's not a great cohort. And so they looked at over 1.3 million communication strings that women sent on Ashley Madison. And what's really fascinating is they use that word passion. They use it time and time again. So they clearly mean sex plus something, right? Passion is clearly sex plus something. And on the sad front is that they want to be that object of desire again. They believe that their sexual appetite in their 30s is abnormal, that somehow still wanting to be with their own partner is abnormal. And so, no, I think there are women who surely look at life and try and look for a meal ticket, but I don't think that's what most people look for. I think they do look for that passion. They want to be that object of desire. And when it evaporates right in front of them, that is incredibly hard to replace. It's hard to kickstart that engine within their marriage, and so that's why they stray. That's what I think this research shows.
I also think there's a socio-economic component and a racial component to that. Let's not forget that too, because I think in the black community they are looking for bread.
But I think infidelity crosses every socioeconomic class.
Sure.
I think I know it. Both, genders clearly, every ethnic group. There's nobody in the world that you can point to one culture where infidelity doesn't happen. So sometimes there could be different movements or different rates of it, or sometimes even a more cultural acceptance. But we're talking about everybody. There's nobody that's immune from being unfaithful.
Bobby G?
Yeah, my question is, how does infidelity save the modern marriage?
Oh, this is great.
Well, it's a great question, Bobby, but think about it. For most people who are married, I am one myself, the priority of my marriage is just not sex. It is my children. It is my economic situation. It's my extended family. It's all of those things. And so while sex is important, I don't want to live without it. I'm not prepared to give up all of those other great things just to change my sex life. And so for so many people, having an affair is what keeps them married. It allows them to stay within this marriage construct while giving up on the monogamy component, even if it's without their partner's consent.
Wow. Wow.
So Noel, have you cheated?
Oh, Noel done fuck some bitches.
12 years of a perfect marriage. I got my fingers crossed. If I can't figure this out, there's no...
He said he's never cheated.
He said he has a perfect
Oh,
marriage.
get the fuck out. Wait.
Black Jesus, Corey!
Wait, put Noel back on. Put Noel back on.
Get back on here, Noel.
I've been taking some lessons on body language. Put him back on that screen.
I'm smiling, my friends. I'm smiling.
You're smiling and you're looking to the left.
Yeah, there you go.
I am.
You're going to be in trouble.
I talk about cheating 24/7 with people like you. I get to look at the research.
You just stop getting lucky tonight. You're going to be unlucky.
I'm more aware of the roadmap than most of us. That's all. That's my only advantage on that front.
Corey Holcomb has a question.
What's his name? Noel?
Noel.
Hey, Noel.
Noel.
So have you ever been intimate with a man?
What?
Corey asks this of everyone.
He laughed.
I have not.
Do you know John Gray?
You have a service for that for Men on the Down Low. We provide affairs to anybody, even
wow.
if you're.
He said Ashley Madison provides affairs to anyone, so they have a service for the down low guys.
That wasn't the question though. That wasn't the question.
But answer a question with a question.
I want to kind of get my head around what he said. Now, Noah, you're saying
he answered it with what he didn't say.
You wrote a book about infidelity saves marriages, yet you proclaim that you haven't cheated on your wife. I'm trying to work out the contradiction there.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's a contradiction. I'm saying that people have affairs to stay married. If they wanted to get divorced, they would get divorced. It's not hard anymore. What they want is to stay married, raise their kids together, share their home, their economics. They just don't. They're not interested in monogamy. How that applies to me, it's irrelevant. My life happens to be good right now on a economic front, a child rearing front, and on a sexual front.
But I have a question.
He put the
I have a question here. Check this out, Dr. Nikki. What about in relationships the concept of triangulation reduces stress? if there's stress between point A and point B, husband, wife, typically the triangulation is now another point that will reduce some of the stress that's building up between the two. So triangulation could be, let's have a baby, right? Or let's have an affair. And it might not be consensual, but that third point is a way to diffuse the stress. What about that?
Many people have made that argument, of course, that having an affair is going to provide some positive benefit for the relationship, that it's going to spark more desire, that they're going to come back and want their original partner even more, that they're going to be so satisfied that the other stuff is going to be easier to deal with. And unfortunately, I haven't seen anyone who's addressed that well.
Listen, if you're a broken mirror, you're going to cut yourself more than you cut somebody else. And there's no relationship or no situation that will heal you until you get inside of you and untangle you. There's no amount of good dick or pussy or interaction that's going to make you better. So whatever justification or reason behind why you do it, the only recourse you have in order to have a happy life is to accept who you are, broken and or whole. So listen, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, more information. Woo! The secret lives of the cheating bitches.
Hey, let me hit that shit from the back. I'm trying to remake this movie. It's called 12 Years of Side Chick. I got 2 tickets to Canada.
Yeah, so we did. Yeah.
All right, if you want to call this an intellectual rant, you can. But what I want to talk about is it goes into the topic we're talking about today, and it's like I don't know how you can save men who are not wise from choosing a woman that is not going to stay with them. My brothers and sisters, I've watched them pick people that I know that person is not going to stay with you. And I think there are people in this world, there's just nothing you can do or tell them. So the system is set up to prey on the weak, prey on those who are not wise. Because I'm telling you now, if you have a woman that you are always auditioning for, you guys have been married, and she's saying, I need this, I need that. It's just a matter of time before she's going to leave because there's nothing you're going to be able to come up with. If she didn't marry you for who you are already, and you're still auditioning, you're going to lose. The number one word that we haven't used today, and I would bet in this book right here, the word is not in here, is honor. Something that has played out in society. So if you don't have the wisdom to marry an honorable person, I'm not talking about men, I'm talking about just women, I'm talking about men and women. If that person is not honorable, they're going to come up with a reason why it didn't work out with you.
That's your rant.
That's my rant.
And I'm going to take it from there. Is it possible for women to be honorable? And the reason why I asked this question is because let's go deeper. I'm not just saying that all willy-nilly. Let's just go deeper into it. Women, would you agree that in any patriarchal society that a woman is traumatized and suppressed, right? Would you say that to some degree? I mean, you guys are experiencing some freedoms in the last 20 or so, 25, 30 some odd years that prior to that, you didn't have. You were just expected to be barefoot, pregnant, in the kitchen, taking care of the kids, that kind of stuff. But now there's a new level of freedom. And you know what they say about the athletes that go from impoverished living situations, they make it to college, then they make it to the pros. They have this concept called the lottery ticket concept, where they don't really know the value of money and they wind up spending their money and going broke. Who was the Tennessee Titans quarterback who lost $26 million? Vince Young. Vince Young. So they call that the lottery ticket effect. Are women experiencing a kind of lottery ticket effect by having all of this power over the last 30 years, more education, more freedom, more independence, more finance, and now they don't really have an equilibrium of how they can operate in relationships. Do you find that that could be part of the problem?
Yeah, I just want to add to what you said. Ask the women here. Do you think women, when they're discovering that they no longer need men, that they don't want them anymore?
I think that's why I'm single.
Speak to it. Speak to it.
I think, you know, a lot of, because I have all the independence and all of the financial security and everything on my own, and I've pretty much raised myself since I was a child and paid for everything and done everything, that I look at this as like relationships can be such a pain in the ass, and like it could be so like I'm terrified of it in a sense that I'm like, I don't fucking need it.
But that's why I say we have
it's
to.
a burden, and if someone cheats on me, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Right. That's why I say we have
deal
to.
with it?
But that's why I say we have to acknowledge that if the
Right.
woman is suppressed, right, because of
I have too much freedom.
because feminism will make this argument of it's a patriarchy and you've beat us down and now we're fighting, right? So if women are have been oppressed, then they've learned the ways of deception, communicative deception to get what they want.
Absolutely. I
They've
don't need a
learned
man.
how to be what's the word? Ignoble, not honorable. So if you say men are choosing bad women, are they not socialized to be bad because of what the patriarchy has done?
I have to be honorable to myself, not
Well, we're
to
being
a man.
socialized a certain way. First of all, if you look in the media, yes, okay. You gonna bite me, all right? Okay, and if you look at it in society and in the media portrays marriage as sexless. So people do buy into that psychologically on a certain level. So when people are getting into marriage, people are always making jokes about, now you're not gonna have any more sex. And the truth is that a lot of people that are married do yearn to have a good sex life and have intimacy with the person that they're with. And I don't think that women generally just want to go and cheat and be with other men. I think that women do want to be with the person that they love. But unfortunately, a lot of situations happen. People stop communicating, and then now you got people cheating. So I think people aren't responsible and they're not honorable. I agree with Corey on that.
Well, my question, and I'm sorry our guest is gone because I really had a...
He got the hell up out of here once it got hot.
He knew I was going to come up with this question, so he bailed.
His perfect marriage having ass.
Define perfect, that's what I want. Define perfect.
Go ahead, Rich.
My question goes to the concept of the book itself. Infidelity will save your marriage. What's going to save your life? We're in a situation right now where venereal disease, STDs are at an all-time raging high, and the whole concept, the whole basis for this book, more or less invites people to spread venereal disease, and I want to know where does the bar lie? What's the standard of duty and care that this book prescribes?
But Richard, you're speaking of high nobility. And if we're judging people on a bell curve, then that's going to tell us really exceptional people at this end of the bell, really fucked up people at this end of the bell, and the majority of the bell's container is filled with mediocrity. Right. Where are you going to find nobility amongst the commoner?
I'm not talking about nobility, I'm talking about common sense.
Most people don't have it. It's
Right.
not common.
Well,
Not common.
Common's a rapper.
Yeah.
But I agree with that, and I also agree with what Corey said about is the choices that we make. And I do believe that there are honorable people out there. Everybody's not fucked up. And I do believe that if we make better decisions in the choices, the people that we choose, and even who we choose to be as people, then we'll have better, more solid, more sound.
You ain't got no power in choice.
Halloween is around the corner.
Right.
This is what I want every guy out there to do. On Halloween, I want you to write down the number of women who are dressed like whores.
Wow.
Versus women who have on
the whorish
costumes
cop, the
that don't
whore
reveal
maid,
their body. I want you to write down, and that's going to let you know, because I'm not saying because they're dressed like that they're bad people, but I'm just saying they have that urge to be out there getting that dick up in them.
Ooh, no, Whitney, come, Whitney, come.
I was trying to say something about what Zoe said. So do you want the women to go back because we have all this education and this power and all of these freedoms now? Would men rather prefer to have the dumbed down women again? You think
No. That's a great question. For me, and then I'll throw it to Bobby. For me, I think women need to be socialized on how to deal with the new power they have. I don't think women know how much power they have now in the new society. I always tell women, you are a Renaissance woman right now, whether you know it or not, because back in the day, it was what I said, regardless of anything else, because I held the purse strings, right? I held the protection. I'm in control of all of that. But now, women are making money on their own, right? And then, more than ever, when you see a global icon like Beyonce represent a separative and family-destroying concept like feminism on a global level, please understand. Please understand, women are getting more and more power from those type of alliances. So with regards to how they handle that power, will tell us what the quality of our relationships will be moving forward. Remember, feminism has a concept called the disposable man. Drop this nut and bounce. I can do this by myself. Amen. Do you understand? Bobby, you got to take a quick break, but say it.
Whether people like to admit it or not, everybody, male or female, wants to be loved and cared for.
Right.
Now, you leave that out of the equation, it don't matter who got the power or the money, you're going to pursue a false narrative.
When we come back, Nikki is going to talk about the power dynamic in relationship. Yes? Can we do that? Yeah. We'll be back at 2.2. Zoe Morning Show is crazy in here.
Can't you tell? I spit it how I live it, just call me the alpha man. A king from a crook, come take you a second look. From the brook, read a book, first blood diamond I took.
There are some potential risks that happen along the way, and one of the worst things that can happen to a guy is finding out that your girlfriend is cheating on you. Let's talk a little bit more about things you can look for if you suspect your girlfriend is cheating on you. And this is obviously a bit of an ugly topic, but the fact of the matter is you might find yourself in this situation, and it helps to have a little bit of an idea of what might be some clues that this is going on. You know, a relationship is about a partnership. It's about people kind of working together and being a team. A real relationship is. If you feel that your girlfriend is getting into a place where she's more independent or more autonomous, this is definitely an indication that things are going south. Now, that doesn't mean that she's cheating on you right away, but it's definitely a sign that she's pulling away from things. If there's more of an effort to be spent on her own and less of an effort to spend time with you, that's never a good sign. But it can also mean that she's up to something else in that free time, especially if she's not the type of girl that surrounds herself with, you know, a ton of friends, and suddenly she's doing all this stuff on her own. You might find yourself being a little bit suspicious. So you want to keep an eye out for a girlfriend that's starting to distance herself and looking for more of that quote-unquote me time. Another thing that kind of is definitely a red flag is if she's being secretive about her schedule. If she's not really telling you where she's going, she's not even giving you a hint, and she's being completely vague, oh, I'm kind of running downtown, I've got some errands to run, or I've got this and that, I have nothing to do, that's, you know, never a good sign. It could just be the sign, again, that your relationship is kind of in a place where she's just looking for a reason to kind of get away from you. But all this free time suddenly, and with lack of specificity, is definitely an indication that she might be spending time with someone else. Now, this next reason is one that you have to kind of be very careful of. I mean, sometimes...
Woo! Hey, sometimes the conversations during the break are as heated as the conversation on air, man, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Dr. Nikki, let's talk about the power dynamics in relationship. First off, what are the power dynamics in relationship? How is the power divided, and where does it originate, and who has the most, you know, power, and how it shifts? And talk to us about it really quickly.
Sure. So I think there's always, regardless of what feminism we have, there's always going to be the male-female difference that women can get pregnant. The transmission of infections is always going to be higher male to female than it is female to male. We're always going to be at higher risk. And sexual assault, it's always going to be a higher risk for women, always has been historically. So from that perspective, women are always going to be at a sexual disadvantage. But because women on average have lower sex drive, we've always said, you know, whoever has the lower drive has the power, because they're limiting how often you have sex. So maybe what feminism is doing now is if women have, you know, if you're that higher drive woman who's always been there but hasn't been able to take advantage of it or act on it, maybe we're now getting the opportunity.
I believe it's hard. You said that women statistically have lower sex drives than men. I believe we've suppressed that bomb-ass pussy.
I think women worship that idea, but now I think now we can
Speak in the
up,
mic,
and
say it again.
I think women had to suppress that urge, and they were like embarrassed of that, and now
Because
it's
I
like,
believe there's a volcano in
Right.
every vulva.
But I don't think by any means are we less horny than a man. I don't think so. I think it's just that we're told not to. We're told we don't want to be called whores, and we don't want to be called all these other things. So we're like, we.
So you
suppress
guys
that
are like
horniness.
President Obama. He's afraid to be aggressive because of the stereotype of being an angry black man, and you're afraid to let that magma rise up in that vulva because you're afraid of being called a hoe. Speak to it, Bobby.
You know, growing up in the 50s and 60s, my grandmother ran an after-hours joint. And I would
Little
watch.
Richard Pryor. Was you over there?
Miss Ann's Cafe was the spot to be.
What was it called?
Miss Ann's Cafe.
Miss Ann's Cafe.
And what was
more than
interesting-
coffee up in this bitch?
Now, what was interesting, you know, you would see the power exchange. You know, there would be the guy, the big baller would come in, and you'd see the couple, the married couple that used to just come in once a month or so, and you'd see the dynamic shift, because then one week, one of the partners would come and the other one wouldn't be there. And it was all on the hush-hush. But the thing that I wanted to speak to is the fact that just because you have the power financially, that doesn't mean you have the power in a relationship. Because if somebody's going to cheat on you, the biggest record we played every night, and it made $200 or $300 a night, one record, Cheating in the Next Room by ZZ Hill. Played that song, and you could look at the people's expression on their faces, and you could tell the people that was relating to that song and living out that possibility.
Well, same thing
So-
now. This music.
Doc?
Yeah,
And then Whitney?
You know, when we're talking about power, I took another direction. All of us know what an adrenaline junkie is, right? An adrenaline junkie is someone who's addicted to adrenaline, and what they're really addicted to is not the adrenaline rush, it's avoiding the adrenaline crash. And what happens is the fear of that crash is so powerful, you will do anything to keep it going. And I'm wondering if part of the power that we're talking about is that women now have a taste of being powerful, and they don't want to go back to being powerless. They have a taste of feeling alive and fully human and female, and they don't want to go back to being repressed. And as a society, maybe that's what's happening, is that we become addicted to being alive. We don't want to be repressed, addicted to being powerful. We don't want to go back to being powerless.
Whitney?
I agree with everything he just said. Power. I was trying to touch on Bobby when he
Say
was
it.
talking about music. These Hoes Ain't Loyal. That's probably the #1 song this entire
He just
summer.
basically said we can buy the pussy, though. That's what Chris Brown is singing about.
Calling women whores.
He called women whores. He's saying we can buy the pussy. If I got money, I can take a broke nigga's bitch.
Yep.
Because I got money.
All women can't be bought.
What? Until women change their minds. Oh, you got a
no
price.
idea what I've been offered, and I.
You got a price?
Same.
I am a loyal
price?
woman, and I have I honor myself.
Just
My mother
because-
raised a real woman.
Maybe he didn't know your
I
price.
value myself. I don't value money over myself.
Speak to it, Corey. Go ahead, Corey.
No, it's shown, not seen on that. But look, what I'm saying is, this is what I'm saying. No, I ain't mean that to be evil. I'm just saying that's the truth. It's shown, not seen.
Right. Just because the dude offered you a price, that doesn't mean he know what your price is.
Your
Go
price
ahead.
might be good conversation. You know what I'm
We
saying?
could be kept
But
for sure, and
But check
if you
this
just
out.
choose not to.
Men,
She bad. She could definitely be
this
kept.
this is what I feel like hasn't been said on network television.
Say it,
But it needs to be said. Men cannot resist the desire of bad bitches. That's just the truth. You could be a happily married man. I just came from Houston, Texas.
Bad.
In order for me to be in a situation where I wasn't out here fucked up, I just go to my room and just get under the cover
And hide.
I walked around the mall and I was like, what bad bitches out there? God damn. You can't be faithful if you out there in that environment. At my show, sometimes I don't even go out there and greet the people because I get offers because, you know what I'm saying? People think I got some money or whatever. I mean, I got enough money for that bitch, but I'm just saying.
So you're suppressing
Get
the
in
dick.
trouble. So that's what men deal with. Now, there are women out there who have the same type of desires as men. Maybe the word whore is the problem. We need to come up with a word for these women so they can feel better about claiming it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, back in ancient times, the word whore. First off, understand this. Let's just go get an etymological dictionary. Webster's has
What
one.
is that, etymological?
It's
Ain't that something
no,
you check your ass at the doctor?
No, it's not a colonic. No, but etymology is the study of word origins. The words we use today, typically we define them via connotation as opposed to denotation. A denotation is the origin, what the word actually meant. Connotation is what the word currently means as defined by society standard today. Example, dope. That song was dope. We're not literally talking about fucking OxyContin. We're just saying we like the song. It's dope. That's the connotation of dope. So, again, you look up the word queen, right? In an etymological dictionary, you know what the fucking word means? Whore. Whore! It's the king's whore. Now, in ancient times, in Egypt, whores had power. Because via the whore, that was the only way you could extend the bloodline of royalty. The bloodline of royalty is on mom's side.
Somebody wanted you.
So being a whore had a good connotation. So now whore means slut, trollop. Again, this goes back to when the mother, when we talk
I
about...
thought a trollop was a type of fish.
That's tilapia. No,
That's a tulip.
No, but again, there was a time when culturally there was the path or the way of the great mother before patriarchy came in. Right? When the patriarchy came in, it turned God instead of us, man and female polarity, it turned man to he, hua, right? That's when you hear the Hebrew Yahuwah, which later when you add the vowels comes to Yahweh, which means, oh, he who he is. Before, it was dual. There was a duality to it, and the woman, the divine female, was recognized in that. And there was balance and polarity, and women were as powerful as men, and there were polyandrous societies. But whenever you get a social coding like the Bible, for the political reasons of why it was put together, and you don't know why, that's now social engineering on an ideological level.
You're saying the Bible is a fucked up book.
The Bible, yes, indeed. Go ahead, brother.
You know, just in its purest form, cheating is mutually inclusive. I don't see how anybody can ever say that women cheat more than men or men cheat more than women, because it takes a woman to cheat with a man, it takes a man to cheat with a woman. So there is some duality in the whole situation. Corey?
No. Women think if they not married and they fuck a married man, they not doing nothing wrong.
Right.
What?
Women, listen, and now, hey, Corey.
That is crazy.
Corey,
I've
hey,
never heard this.
When we come back, we gonna talk about how women use social constructs to justify doing what they really wanna do. Let me give you a quick example. I'm dating this dude. That's how she breaks it down. I'm dating somebody. I can't fuck with you. Okay, cool. The moment she breaks up with that nigga, oh, what's happening? Can we kick it? Right? Say y'all get somewhere that night. Then they get back together. I can't fuck with you no more. Well, why did you fuck with me the last time? Because I wasn't with anyone. Right? When I'm outside of the idea, I can fuck around. When I'm inside of the construct, I can't. We'll be back in 2.2. Zoe What Morning Show. It's getting crazy.
We often hear about men who cheat on their wives and girlfriends. Many of them say even though they love their partner, they're bored with the relationship or that they just wanted sex. But what about women who cheat? What makes them unfaithful? We'll find out right now on It's Your Call. Safe to say, American marriage is at a crisis point. More than half of all marriages are ending in divorce, and in most of them, infidelity has played a role. Yet men and women cheat for very different reasons. Do you know what they are? Well, you're about to find out. Hi there, everyone. Good to have you with us. I'm Lynn Doyle. You know, we've covered the topic of infidelity quite often here on It's Your Call, frequently in the last year when the world's most famous athlete, Tiger Woods, literally got caught with his pants down. Now, his actions led to his divorce, which, as you know, became final this past summer. But he's not the only athlete we've covered. There have been plenty of others, not to mention actors, celebrities, politicians. In fact, remember when we first started, President Bill Clinton's extramarital affair? landed adultery on the front page of every newspaper across the world for weeks. Each time since then, we've asked, why do these men cheat on the women they say they love, and why do those women put up with it? Well, this time, in the interest of fairness, we're not focusing on the men, we're focusing on women adulterers, because there are plenty of them out there as well. Listen to this. According to infidelityfacts.com, 54% of all women admit they've cheated in a relationship, often with a coworker. Another 68% say they'd have an affair if they thought they could get away with it and never get caught. And for many of the women, they say the affairs involve little or no sex. If you're saying, well, what's the point? We're going to find out. The reasons for cheating differ from men, as Dr. Deborah Lano found out in researching her latest ebook, 11 Reasons Why Women Cheat. She's here to tell us what some of them are. Okay, Deb, you've gotten my attention with the title of that book. Good to have you back with us.
Glad to be back.
You're our go-to gal when it comes to sex and infidelity. And we've talked quite often in the past about men and why they're always stepping out on the women they say they love. When you did the research for the women, were you surprised at the reasons they say they step outside a relationship?
I wasn't really surprised, just because I deal with that in practice very often, actually. But, you know, one of the things that I really was surprised at is one of the reasons in my book is just because we can now, you know, which to me was a little bit shocking. I mean, you can see the truth in it if you really kind of look at, you know, women these days, but, you know, I can do this.
So you're saying it's equal opportunity and it extends to infidelity?
Yeah.
Well, these guys that are fooling around with somebody, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we so often overlook that. We always look at the men and say, well, why are they doing it? But they're doing it with someone.
And it's interesting that you had mentioned work, because workplace is one of the top places that individuals, females specifically, do have affairs, because the access is there, essentially, you know?
Okay, so one of the reasons you found is because they can do it.
They can do it.
But was there another overwhelming factor that you found across the board for why women cheat?
Absolutely, and that was with regards to needs.
Here we come. Oh my God! Hey, Chris, he missed a whole segment. During the breaks just suffered greatly because Corey went in. It was crazy. It just suffered greatly. Thanks, Chris, for your ineptitude. We love you. Now, I have a question for the ladies at the round table of real talk. I need you guys to give us clarity. Are women the best communicators? 1, 2, the best deceivers? And do you guys typically employ this skill on your man in relationships? Do you use your powers for good or evil? Right? Are you guys better communicators than men? Speak to me.
I think that we're more capable of it, and we want that.
You gonna own it, or you just gonna talk around it?
No, I
want you to put your mouth on it.
I don't think we're necessarily better communicators. I think we're better communicators with our feelings, not necessarily like in life and
articulation
in general. Right. I think when something is bothering us, we're easier to open up and say, look, this is bothering me. Why can't you be more like that? Why can't you tell me that?
Good.
In our
Dr.
feelings.
Nikki?
You know, people have tried to look at men and women discussing problems and follow, you know, if he says this, then she says that, you know, who's really doing a good job of like getting the point across and moving the problem forward. And it turns out both genders make the same kind of mistakes about equally often. So it's not like, you know, the guy's on the attack and the woman's backing off too soon, or vice versa. It really seems like the same kind of mistakes are happening on both sides. So I don't know if it's a gender issue.
Bring it in. I definitely think we're not good. If somebody asks me where we want to eat, it's going to take me about 45 minutes to decide, even though I know. You know what I mean? Well, communication, whatever. That's what I'm saying. As far as deceiving, are we going there? Because we're going there. As far as deceiving, I think women, as far as cheating and this sort of thing, manipulative, yes, we're way better. We learn from you guys. We watch. Women, I feel like we watch, we look, we see what you guys are doing, and men are looking for something different. I feel like men in the cheating situation are more so worried about the physical. Like, if you sucked his dick, we're done. Women are like, talked to her, you spent time with her, you bought this bitch Chipotle.
You
like,
commented
no,
on her
this is not
Instagram.
you like her? You got her guacamole? No, hell no. You know what I mean? We look at everything. We look at the details.
The
So
layers.
that's why then when we're like, you know what, fuck him, I'm done. He bought her. Nope, I'm done. I'm gonna go check on this dude. Yep. And he ain't even gonna know. He's not even gonna know because he's so worried
But
about
this
himself.
dude, that's the key.
He's so worried about his
this
shit.
dude that you say, I'm gonna go check on this dude.
Check
Stay
on
with
him.
me, Whitney.
Yep.
This dude has always been around.
He's hovering.
Women keep little
In the
satellites and little
yeah.
motherfuckers
It's
in
like
orbit
it's
just
a
in case. Break glass in case of emergency dick.
Exactly. No, definitely. Women, I feel like, no, but we can't even say it's just women who do this. I have homeboys, brothers, people, everybody. Yo, oh, my main chick, oh, my starting, I'm going to put her on the bench for a little while. She's not acting right. Like, women do the same thing. We learned it from you.
Margo? I will say that gender, I agree with a lot of what Whitney said. Okay, so are we better communicators? I can't say that either sex is a better communicator than the other. Some people are just bad at it. Women do communicate, and we will talk and talk and talk and talk. But whether we're a better communicator, it just depends on a lot of different things. Some men are good at it. Some women are better at it. Wait a minute now. I still got one more thing to say. But you want to
communicate. Please communicate now. Come on.
Okay.
Communicate.
Okay, go on ahead.
She ain't no good communicator.
Yeah.
You finished saying what you were saying. I'm direct.
But you wanted to. It was a two-part question, right? We'll finish talking. All right. So the other thing is, are women better? You want to know if women are better at cheating, and I say that definitely women are better at strategic planning, and we are better at multitasking, and we can manage details a lot better. And men, a lot of times, they're not as selective when they cheat, so they get caught. So in that aspect, yes, women can be better at deception.
Corey, Doc.
I think women, like
Yasmin.
they'll say, they learn to cheat from men.
You hear
but
that?
the truth is, we learn to cheat from them.
Speak
we
on.
watch them because we're born with our mind thinking all this. But when we watch women, that's when we come up with the slick shit we do. Because women, in my opinion, they can't beat you up. So they master being slick. That's how they get you.
Wow.
So when we watch women get slick, especially when you young boys, you be like, wow, that was slick how she did that, because my mind wasn't even there because I'm big. I could beat.
I wasn't even thinking like that.
I can mainly force my way through everything.
Right.
But what I also wanted to say about cheating,
yes,
I think if you in a relationship with somebody, you owe it to that person, especially if you're married, you owe it to the person that you are cheating on to not get to know the people that you are cheating with, which is why it's better if a man just goes out and pay a woman to have sex with her, because when you get to know a woman on the side of your wife, or you get to know a man on the side of your husband, that is really cheating right there. That's worse than sex.
You're saying when you're entwined in their life and their emotions.
There's no
and
need
their,
for that.
Right.
That's why a lot of people who like I would want to be with, I know I wouldn't have a chance at being with them, because I know I'm not going to get to know you.
I'm going to be wrapped up in you.
I just want to sleep with you and wave at you discreetly when I see you in the street. That's all I want.
Dr. G, and then Bobby. And then Yasmin.
You triggered something about this whole notion about honor. I remember a friend of mine said to me, one of the reasons I would never have an affair is because one person in the world would know how little I think of my wife. And just the fact that one person would know how little I think of my wife to have that affair, which is different than paying for it and that kind of thing, which is
that's real. What he said
but one other thing about communicating, I think women are better at communicating their feelings, because what happens is when men communicate feelings, they're kind of afraid it'll escalate, because often when it escalates for men and it goes, oh yeah, it's going to cross over into physicality. And so a lot of men aren't that comfortable expressing their feelings, because it can lead to their feeling brittle. And in terms of being more deceptive, I think women are more deceptive because, as I said earlier, I think a lot of women actually feel a certain justification inside for what they're doing, whereas so they don't feel they're doing anything wrong, whereas men say, I did it because I wanted to do it, and I just hope I don't get caught. They're a little more clumsy.
Jasmine.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. I think if I'm going to cheat, I think my pride has somehow been hurt, and I feel like I've been let down in a certain way, and it's so premeditated.
So you offer pussy when your ego is damaged?
Well, I think so. Well, I think it has to do. It's a premeditated thing. I'm like, all right, that happened. I'm gonna do that, and it's gonna help make me feel better about myself.
Bobby, then Rich.
As far as communication is concerned, women start conversations, but they have trouble completing them. Ooh. And what I mean by that is, a woman will ask a man a question. Where you been? What are you doing? And they'll consider that communication. That's an interrogation. That's not communication. And it limits our response because most times men feel very intimidated. Not intimidated, they're annoyed by that kind of a question. And effective communication starts with a sensibility, concern or something like that. That's
empathy.
Genuine. Right. If it's not coming from that place right there, that's not communicating. You don't talk to me. No, I don't want to talk about that particular subject matter. I might want to talk about sports. I might want to talk about politics. I might want to talk about something else. But so when we talk about communication, I don't think women communicate as effectively as they think they do.
Rich?
Well, my dad used to say that marriage is nothing more than legalized prostitution.
Wow.
He was kidding, obviously, but
not really.
No, he wasn't. That should sound like the gospel.
I was only,
John chapter 4, verse 6. Go ahead.
I was only 14 the first time I heard that. But he also said that women are the best communicators, and he said women want it just as much as men. They're just not allowed to ask for it.
Oh. Wow. Listen, we got to take a quick break. This show is on fire. Trust me, we'll be back in 2.2 seconds. Zo What Morning Show on T Radio V. That's Radio NTV. We'll be back in a second, man. This is crazy. So. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to keep going, isn't it? We're live. We're live. She's a Leo. She has the fire. We love it. We love it. Today's show was, listen, I always say this, and I'm going to say it again. It's not about providing all of the answers, but it's about providing the dialogue where there's no judgment, where Corey can say women are whores, where women can fire back and say you motherfuckers got limp dicks. And I had to go find a stiff dick while you pay for the rent, right? This is a space where you can come and talk and be real and be truthful, but at the same time, we find some, nooks and crannies to get some insight and some knowledge and some information out to you. Quite a dynamic platform that we've developed here, and I want to thank each and every one of you for your insight, your information, your availability, your time, and your participation. From me to you, thank you very much. I appreciate it. My final thought is this. Women, it's a new day. You're all Renaissance women now. It's a new day. You're going to have to stop. I always tell women, stop dating an idea. Well, what are traditions? Ideas. They're institutions in your mind that you have become institutionalized by. You're going to have to find new currencies in order to date men. What are currencies? Social currencies. The old currency of the breadwinner and he's the head of the household and all, that's changing because of your education level and your finance level. That's changing. You're going to have to now find a real reason to be with someone, right? Because you can now take care of yourself financially. You don't need a man to lean on to educate you. Now that society is shifting in your favor, you're now going to have to find a spiritual purpose for why you're in relationship. Because before, it was a social purpose. Who gonna take care of me? Right? That's starting to go out the window, the way of the dodo. So the only way to do that, women have to learn how to make accountability their religion. Be accountable for the moistness of your pussy and what makes it tick. Right? Be accountable for it. Start living it like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. Guess what? A woman will be quick to say, men don't tell the truth. Men aren't honest. They're dogs. Again, We mold everything we do off of you. Women are better communicators. They are, period. And men tend to shut the fuck up because we're not going to get into a talking match with you. We're going to sit there and listen. And then after we get your ideas and concepts that you're so in love with that you've never fucking challenged or checked because your sick mom gave them to you or your sick dad gave them to you or wherever you got them from, you've never vetted them out, we're going to tailor the only thing that speaks to you to that, and that's our behavior. Oh, you're Christian? I'm going to church. I will go to church because you're a Christian. I don't believe in Christ, but you do. And I'll be sitting right next to you in the pew because I know that is an action you value. That will lead to fornication. And you will fornicate against God's word. You will do it because your pussy has a voice that's louder than the word in the Bible. Right? It does. Your pussy saying, that's good dick right there. He came to church, right? So all I'm saying is you're going to have to, with your new power, you're going to need to stop justifying what you do by way of what was done to you, right? I cheated on him because he cheated on me. We never get to the ultimate question. Have you always wanted that other nigga you fucking with? And did you always keep him around because you were uncertain about this dude, which means you weren't totally invested? And I always tell women, thought is creative. Whether it's positive or negative, you're building something all the time, right? So if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're not really feeling them, you're building not really feeling them as an experience. And there's the justification and the reason to get out of the situation because you're creating it as you're doubting this dude. Imagine if you were pouring into him what you wanted from him. Chances are you would get it because thought is creative. If you're constantly ridiculing, judging, justifying, grading, is this right? Is this good? Oh, well, at least he paid the bills. Fuck, I gotta get some dick somewhere else. You created that situation. You magnetized that situation. I always tell women, we use the battery analogy all the time. All the power in the battery comes from the feminine side of the battery. All the masculine side does is direct the energy, right? You want to mold a situation, pour into it what you want out of it. But most women are always looking to get as opposed to give. Don't you know giving is the initial process of reciprocity? It's the starting point of it. Let me give you love so I can receive that love from you. Let me give you respect so I can receive that respect. Let me give you honor so you may honor me. Women are Godzilla country, right? Or Bridezilla. Oh, my wedding, my time, this is me, 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 me. Fuck this bitch is in the back of most men's minds. God damn, what have I gotten myself into after 18 months? The honeymoon is over. Who is this broad, right? I keep telling you, ladies, you are the director of the movie that is called relationships. The social games you write into the relationship are the social behaviors that you're going to see from your man. We mold our behavior to your thought. And if you haven't challenged your thought, if you haven't gone inside and said, damn, am I dating my coping mechanism because I didn't have a good relationship with my daddy? How you going to be fulfilled? I'm tired of my needs are not being met as a goddamn excuse to get side dick when you never really thought for yourself, do I really like side dick? Right? I might want side dick, and I'm having an internal conflict with coming to terms with that. Women, Renaissance women, start owning your pussy and the destiny it takes you in. I'm Zoe Williams, and that's my final thought. So, with that said, let's go around the table, get everybody's information, where you at, where you going to, where people can find you. Bobby G?
Just go to Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and get the copy of Real Men Don't Play.
Jasmine, even.
I have a dating website called
Charlie's Web action over
House of Love and Lust. There's one for love, and then there's one for just hookups.
Really? So, what's the website again?
It's House of Love and Lust, and it'll take you to both separate ones. There's Jasmine's House of Love and Jasmine's House of Lust.
Attorney Richard, man, the breakup master, Mr. Divorce Lawyer himself. Speak to us.
I resent that characterization of attorney.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I'm a paralegal.
Paralegal, we'll take it.
So you can go to my website, which is libertyandjusticeparalegal.com, and it'll tell you all about what we do. and how we do it and what it costs.
Man, we love your energy. Your input on this show today was great. Dr. G.
Check out my book, Just Listen. It's the top book on listening in the world, but nobody knows about it because nobody wants to listen. But if you happen to want to learn about it,
including the author. He don't want to listen to nobody.
Well, I'm just going to go pout.
Dr. Nikki?
Science fanatic. So if you like science, I talk a lot about sex science on my tweets. Nicole Prause, Nicole, P like Peter, Rause. Find me there anytime.
Nicole Prause, you were awesome. My brother, my friend, and we'll be on tomorrow, 5150. Speak to us about the truth of this shit on your way out.
I want to say to all of the ladies who failed in a relationship, shut the fuck up.
Whitney, where can they find you?
What's good, y'all? You can find me on Twitter, Miss Tabor, MSTABER, Instagram, same thing, Facebook, all that.
And I am Margo Hudson. You can send me an email at goodlove102@gmail. DestinationLoveLife.com is not up yet, but we are in the making, and it is coming soon. In the meantime, you can check out my YouTube page, and it's Destination Love Life, or you can hit me at Destin Love Life, and which is on Twitter, and I'll be back there soon.
Really quickly, only 5 copies left. Please go to IamZoeWilliams.com. You'll get a copy of my book, autographed, signed, plus a free CD of my lecture on religion and God, the God Class Volume 1. And if you want a copy of the God Class Volume 1, it's available on iTunes. You can also get it at cdbaby.com. But 5 copies left, IamZoeWilliams.com. I urge you to go there. This is the last time this book is going to appear on this show. The next time we come back, we'll have a new book, The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Breaking Up with a Lousy Motherfucker. Let me just say, it's not when breaking up with a lousy motherfucker, but how to stick the landing when getting out of a relationship. Anyway, I just want to say, man, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate my engineers, everybody who do what they do. This was a great show. Follow me on Instagram, at Mr. Zowhat. Follow me on Twitter, at Zoe Williams. And I'll see you next week with another heater. Zoe Williams, we out. Zowhat morning.
You want a war? I'ma put you on my hit list. You gon' fuck around and make us boycott Chris. Yeah. You want a war? I'ma put you on my shit list. You gon' fuck around and make us boycott Chris. You want a war? I'ma put you on my hit list. You gon' fuck around and make us put you out of business. Yeah. This goes out to Timothy Russell, Keandre McDade, Kimani Gray, Jordan Davis, Oscar Grant, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown. You gon' fuck around and make us boycott Chris. Yeah.
You are watching T-Radio V, Radio and TV.